Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Of course, my name is Blitzwinger, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome on back to another LEGO Batman 3 Beyond Gotham Free Roam Gameplay Showcase. And today, we've got one of the big baddie. Well, you see, the problem is it's tricky to say baddies or not, because he's kind of an anti-hero, because sometimes in the comics he's taken the role of a good guy, and then other times he's been a bad guy, so it's been really kind of a tricky character in that regard. But most of the time, he's basically a guy that works and in it for himself and works for money. With that in mind, of course, welcome on back to another LEGO Batman 3 Beyond Gotham Free Roam Gameplay Showcase. Of course, if you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to smash that like button and let us get rocking and rolling with today's showcase for Deathstroke. So, of course, as you can see, he is an absolutely awesome looking minifigure. I love the helmet. I really am super glad that they chose to go with a helmet and not go with something like remember when we were taking a look at the Red Hood? Sorry, wrong character. The Red Hood. Remember how his head is just like painted red and stuff? And that's cool. I mean, some people would like that, but for me personally, I think it looks way nicer when there's like an actual helmet in place like that. It makes it look a lot cooler and almost like an armored-like look. So for me, I definitely prefer this look here. With that in mind, of course, we've got the classic blue and orange coloring design, which is something that I know some people are going to be a little bit kind of like, oh, what is that? Because that's not exactly how he looks in, of course, the Arrow TV show. I mean, you've got some components in the mask, but in the actual suit, it's a little different. And it's also quite different to what we saw in Arkham Origins. So that's another element that you have to keep in mind. I really do like how you can see underneath the mask, like the back of the head, how he had a headband tied there, or a bandana of some sort, and how it's multicolored. That's a nice little touch there. That looks pretty cool indeed. Now, of course, in terms of where do you get this character, you actually unlock this character as a character token on the Big Trouble in Little Gotham level. So once you complete that level, of course, make sure to spot the character token, and then it will take 450,000 studs to actually purchase the character. So a bit on the expensive side, that's for sure. But, I mean, he's one of the cooler characters in the DC universe, and he really is oftentimes compared to, of course, like Deadpool and such. So they definitely have some overarching areas, not territories, in terms of, you know, using tons and tons of weapons, katanas, etc. But their personalities, in my opinion, are quite different. So in that regard, I don't really see the comparison. So with that being said, of course, in terms of abilities, this guy is self-healing, which is something we saw, of course, on the Arrow TV show with the Mirakuru. Of course, we have super senses. Also, on top of that, he is able to use wall jumps, twirl poles, and because he's quite the smart fella, he's also able to use techno panels, which are pretty important as well. So now let's go on ahead and get to the actual gameplay. So as you can see, of course, right off the bat, he is always running in hand with a blaster, and you can go ahead and utilize that to, of course, take down enemies at a longer range, or as enemies are running up to you, you can turn around and obviously pinpoint them and take them down that way. He is actually only using one blaster, so no dual wielding or anything like that, which is a little unfortunate, but I think that it's good enough, especially considering that he doesn't have two other weapons to speak for, which is pretty neat. So, his other two weapons include, first and foremost, of course, up close and personal, we can use our katana sword, which, as you can see, he's actually wearing on his back, typically. So, you can go ahead and utilize that up close. As you get close to the target, you will then unsheath that, and he puts away the gun, and then you utilize the sword up close, which is pretty handy. And as you can see, he has some really lovely acrobatic skills to utilize that sword, and that's definitely fun and cool. Wowzers. Uh-oh, I got stuck there. That wasn't too good. But nonetheless, of course, other than the sword and the gun that we've seen, of course, you might have seen also the fact that he has a sword smackdown attack, where basically he jumps up and then comes down with the sword punching the ground. Would have been cool to see some sort of a little effect around that, maybe some sort of like an orange burst or something, just to kind of, again, make it feel a little bit different than what most other characters have. You know what I mean? That's what I've been saying all the time, but again, I will continue saying it because I think it's something that is pretty important, and I would love to see that changed and addressed in future games. Now, additionally to that, he does have a long-range weapon, which is actually not his blaster. You might think it's the blaster, but that would be incorrect. His targeter is actually not particularly exciting. Like, it's kind of plain and simple, like it's just like a gear and then two colors of dark blue and orange. The dark blue and orange I get, that's a cool idea, but I kind of would have preferred maybe to see like his face or something like that, like a little mask design. Just for me personally, I think that would have looked a little bit cooler, but then again, that's just my personal opinion. So of course, as you can see, he pulls out the baton stick and then he tosses that away, almost like a boomerang type device, which he did utilize that, if you remember, in the Batman Arkham Origins game. So that is definitely a tool that he has used before. That's kind of like, I guess, his bow staff, if you would want to call it that, which is pretty handy and pretty cool indeed. Now, additionally to all of that, of course, he is, what was I going to mention? Oh yeah, the final thing. That's what I was going to mention. The final thing is this, woohoo, which is of course his super senses. I'm not really sure about this color. Like, usually I really like the super senses effect because it's really, really neat. And when you look at so many figures, it does look cool, but I just don't know why they chose this kind of yellowish, neon yellow kind of color. I think I would have much preferred to have it be orange. I think that would have been cool. Or imagine if they could have actually split the screen in half, where the right hand side would be orange and then the left hand side would be the bluish kind of dark blue color. That would have been super cool, and again would have been very, 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 very fitting with this particular character. And again, I think that would just look really neat and would give it a really, really unique effect indeed. So with all that being said, of course, there you guys have it. That is the one, the only Deathstroke. I hope you guys enjoyed the showcase. If you did, please don't forget to hit that like button. Of course, share the video with your family and your friends, and of course stay tuned for plenty more free roam gameplay showcases coming your way. Speaking of that, of course, let me know which other characters you would like to see showcased on upcoming episodes down in the comments section below. Thank you guys so very much for watching, and I will of course see you folks later, alligators. Bye bye guys.